Good evening, America. What we witnessed today wasn't just a certification, it was the death of the establishment's last desperate hope. Kamala Harris, the woman who once thought she'd be leading this country, forced to announce her own political demise, but that's not even the full story. While Mike Pence issues passive aggressive statements from the sidelines, we're watching the old guard literally hobble through Congress using walkers. Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, the symbols of a dying regime. And now, with just 14 days until Trump's triumphant return, the deep state is in full panic mode. Now, my fellow Americans, we're witnessing a historic transition of power, and now more than ever, it's crucial to protect your wealth. Just as Trump's victory signals a return to American strength, gold remains the ultimate symbol of financial security. The establishment feared this day would come, and that's why they have been devaluing our dollar since 1971. And smart investors are making the lateral move to gold, following the lead of central banks worldwide. Call Global Gold Investments now at 888-700-4148 and receive your free 2025 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. Mention Next News for a complimentary portfolio analysis. Don't let your retirement depend on paper promises. Secure your future with gold and find out how you can get up to $1,000 in free silver. So happy January 6th day to everyone out there. It is a beautiful day, and there's a lot to get to in this segment. I have been collecting all the clips for you, and here we have the first one. 82-year-old Senator Mitch McConnell apparently was missing from the Trump 2024 election certification in Congress. Shocking video leaked showing he can barely walk off his recent fall. Here he is, Mitch McConnell, being led into his office. Yeah, his days are numbered. And of course, Adam Kinzinger, he has something to say. He's not looking for a pardon from Joe Biden.
People to pay money.
Biden issue pardons for the January 6th committee members, including yourself?
No, I don't want it. Look, here's the
You
thing.
don't want it?
No, because the second a pardon is issued, and look, I understand the theory behind it, because Donald Trump has clearly said he's going to go after everybody. And it's not going to be for the January 6th investigation. What they'll do is they'll weaponize other investigations. They'll look into everything and start an investigation that'll end up coming to naught, force people to pay money. This happened to Brad Raffensperger in Georgia as he was forced to defend himself. But the second you take a pardon, it looks like you're guilty of something. I'm guilty of nothing besides bringing the truth to the American people and in the process embarrassing Donald Trump, because for 187 minutes he sat there and did absolutely nothing and showed how weak and scared he truly was. So no, I don't want it. And, the bottom line is, if he wants to bring up January 6th again, we've had all this talk about how we're moving on from January 6th, and trust me, Anderson, I would love to. My life has been defined by this for 4 years, but if he wants to bring it back, I will be happily talking about everything the committee did and learned and re-embarrassed.
What some people may not realize is you're saying you don't want a pardon. Fighting whatever might come your way can cost you and your family, hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, you think about it, and this happened with
Biden.
Yeah, he doesn't want a pardon. Sure, he's just saying that publicly. And then we have this election denier, Hakeem Jeffries, decided to invoke Pearl Harbor to commemorate January 6th today.
January 6th, 2021 is a day that will forever live in infamy.
Yeah, sure. And then we had this great moment. A reporter was falsely talking about Trump supporters regarding January 6th, and a snowstorm came across and wiped her out.
Stormed this. All right, you ready?
Yep, when you're ready.
Okay. Since the January 6th attack on the US Capitol, when supporters of Donald Trump stormed this building, trying to prevent the election victory of Joe Biden from being certified. On the anniversary. Oh my God. Oh God, Sam.
Yeah. Oh God, indeed. Yep, you're getting what you deserve, honey. Spreading that fake news has consequences. We've got a great clip from Ron Paul we're going to bring to you. But here's Nancy Pelosi showing up with a walker. As you remember, she fell and broke her hip overseas, and now she's forced to, stroll through with a walker. Yeah, it's a sad moment for this country. Let's take a look at this real quick. This is Lieutenant General Thomas McInerney. talking about the official proceedings of January 6th that was disrupted by the FBI was, in fact, a criminal conspiracy enabled by Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Muriel Bowser.
American out there, they have taken control of our society. And we have one person, we just came from there in the White House, standing in the way. And it's going to mean, and you don't fully realize it, but every one of us here, every American out there is going to have to stand up. We read about it in history, we read about Normandy and all of that, but now we are in it. And so we must spread it. We cannot surrender. And the president said he wouldn't. You all know that it was that attack on the Capitol was done by Antifa, but it was enabled by McConnell, by Schumer, by Pelosi, and the mayor. They knew that was coming. You've all been up there. There were hardly any security police there, and they moved in, and Antifa did their thing, and then the media picked it up. I worked for Fox for almost 17 years. It's disgraceful what they're doing. And unfortunately, Rupert is driving that with his son.
So the truth is known. That whole thing was a setup. And here is Adam Kinzinger, the serial liar and traitor who belongs in prison, says he's very proud of the historically corrupt J6 committee because Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger showed great courage. Yeah.
Powerful because all of us on the committee, I think, are very proud of the work that we did. We stand behind it. I'm glad to see President Biden acknowledge the role of our Chairman Benny Thompson and Liz Cheney. Adam Kinzinger, I think, also, as a Republican, showed great courage. And the witnesses that came before the committee were so powerful because they were Republicans, because they put the country first. So who knows what the president means? I guess we'll find out. But we stand behind our work.
Yeah, the work that you tampered with. Liberals are really triggered today. I wonder why. I guess that Blue Anon lied to them and made them believe that Kamala had something up her sleeve in order to deny a certification. Today is going to be a great day, especially when Kamala Harris has to certify the election she got smoked in. And there was apparently a snowball fight just outside of the Capitol happening now 7 hours ago. A massive snowball fight has broken out near the Capitol. And bad hombre jokes. AOC is hiding in a broom closet, literally shaking. So people having some good fun out there in the Capitol today. And then we have this. We're going to get some reaction as well. Charlie Kirk posted that this is not a clip from 4 years ago or even 4 months ago. Sonny Hostin this morning compares J6 to World War II, the Holocaust, and slavery.
And I think we need to find moral clarity, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. Mm-hmm. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, we need to move on from January 6th. Mm-hmm. I say no. You don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
Yes. But Scott Jennings went on CNN and blasted the views Sonny Hostin's comments.
It's so important. In light of all the rhetoric and things we're going to hear people say today, is that ultimately it was the American people that got to decide ultimately how we feel collectively as a country about January the 6th. And already today, we have heard some people in other venues say extraordinarily unhinged and vile things, comparing January 6th to the Holocaust, to slavery, to World War II. I think we need to arrange our feelings and control ourselves accordingly here and not go off the deep end. It was not a good day. Political violence cannot be condoned, but we can also be measured in how we view it in light of the rest of American and world history. What's happening today is ultimately a good thing because both parties for the first time in my adult life, are accepting the results of an election. And that is ultimately putting this country on the right tracks. I just think people ought to really take stock of our feelings and not get out over our skis too much today and minimizing other world events and comparing them to January the 6th.
Well, that's what they do on The View, though. And, of course, speaking of congressional leaders and walkers, Wall Street Ape posted this beautiful remembrance video of,
house-made meal. At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings, round-the-clock professional care, and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
Where residents feel like presidents. Well, that is all about to go out the window. Here is the moment. Heritage Foundation posted this 6 hours ago. This is the moment that presiding over a joint session of Congress, Vice President Kamala Harris officially certifies Donald Trump and J.D. Vance's election victory.
The state of the vote for the President of the United States as delivered to the President of the Senate is as follows.
Let's go.
The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes. The whole number of electors appointed to vote for Vice President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, a majority is 270. The votes for Vice President of the United States are as follows. J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio has received 312 votes. Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota has received 226 votes. This announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected, President and Vice President of the United States, each for a term beginning on the 20th day of January 2025, and shall be entered together with the list of the votes on the journals of the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.
It is official now. It is 100% official. And we have some remarks from Mike Pence, though. Here's what he had to say. The peaceful transfer of power is the hallmark of our democracy. It's a republic, Mike. And today, members of both parties in the House and Senate, along with the Vice President, certified the election of our new President and Vice President without controversy or objection. Little passive-aggressive stuff going on there. I welcome the return of order and civility to these historic proceedings and offer my most sincere congratulations and prayers to President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance on their election to lead this great nation. I also commend the members of the House and Senate and Vice President who did their duty under the Constitution of the United States, to it being particularly admirable that Vice President Harris would preside over the certification of a presidential election she lost. God bless our new president and vice president and their families, and may God continue to bless the U.S. Oh, yeah. Gunther Eagleman, you were discarded when you betrayed your oath. Go away, Judas Pence. Paul Zipula, be quiet, Mike Pence. We don't need your passive-aggressive statements muddying up this moment. Democrats have been cheating in elections for decades. They certainly did in 2020, and Joe Biden should have been legally prevented from becoming POTUS. Now do us all a favor and go away. Here is, let's see, this is a clip. Trump deflects from giving Mike Pence a nickname. He says he had a very good relationship with Mike Pence and 99% of his presidency, but Mike Pence's lawyers advised him they didn't have the right to send the votes back, but in reality, he did.
Some people, the best ones are from the Republican primaries.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all friends of mine now.
Oh, now you got to be nice.
So I've taken.
What about Mike Pence? You got anything from Mike Pence?
Well, it's a shame because he and I had a very good relationship.
Hanging out somewhere.
He couldn't cross the line of doing what was right, in my opinion. Some people would disagree with that, but he had the right to go and put them before the legislatures and have them reassess because they found out a lot of bad things. And he had a lawyer that said he didn't have that right, but he did have that right. And you know why we found out that that was true? Because they changed the law after the election so that he couldn't do what I said he could do.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay? They changed the law so that a vice president could no longer do what I said he could do. So, in other words, I turned out to be right. But it's a shame. We had a very good relationship for 99.9% of the thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think he's a good man. I think he's a good man.
Good.
Unfortunately, I wish he would have had the stamina, maybe courage, maybe both, to go further. Because we have to have honest elections in our country. And if we're afraid to challenge an election, we're in big trouble, you know? They say, if you challenge... They've challenged elections. The Democrats, look at Maxine Waters. How dare them, you know? They've challenged Stacey Abrams. Almost all of the Democrats challenged. But when we challenge, they say, he's a threat to democracy. These are con artists, and they're very bad for our country. So I'm going to weed them out. I'm going to weed them out. I'll do it in honor of you.
Okay.
I'll do it in honor of you. Yes, he is going to weed them all out. And Adam Schiff and Sonny Hostin and Adam Kinzinger. Oh, this is the clip from Ron Paul. Oh, this is good. This is so good. Watch this.
That was, what's the date?
He captioned this: even after the truth about January 6th has prevailed, the PSYOP continues. Listen to the good doctor now.
Today.
Insurrection Day.
January 6th. There wasn't. No. It's the insurrection that wasn't. Thomas Buckley from the Mises Institute did a neat article on this subject. It was in Zero Hedge. And one of the leading comments got our attention. It's typically, coup attempts do not wrap up in time for dinner. That raises a question. Was there really a coup? You know, I claim philosophically there was a coup in the 1960s with assassinations and all that went on then. And that was certainly much closer to living up to the definition of a coup than this has. But they're not giving up. You still hear it on the TV. Even recently, they're still trying to arrest people on this. I mean, how long can they do this? And I think they live with their lies. I think they convince themselves they're lying, and they don't blink an eye. So, but I think the people finally caught on to what was going on, and this is good. And yet, just recently, they're still. It isn't like they're walking away and hang their head down and say, well, let's quit it. We're beating up too much. Let's arrest more people. We have 2 days left, you know. And well, that to me is rather sad.
Well, let's put on that first clip because this is from the Mises Institute. January 6th, insurrection that wasn't. And the thing is, you know, we, even just today, Dr. Paul, we laugh about using this as an insurrection. But if we transport ourselves back 4 years when it happened, And you remember what it was like after January 6th. The media was in a frenzy. They were all on the same page. And it was also in the depths of COVID tyranny. So we had already experienced at least a year or around a year of censorship, of telling people you can't talk about this virus in any way other than the way we tell you to. And so we sort of had been conditioned at that time to be careful and worried. And so when we looked at what happened, I think you had a column that came out just right afterward or something, where you said, this doesn't look like an insurrection to me. But at that time, just saying that, people kind of forget that, but just saying that was so radical.
Yep.
And in fact, we lost one of our board members. He wrote to me and said, I don't want to be affiliated with the Ron Paul Institute at all if you don't think this was a coup. Well, fortunately, history has kind of come on our side of things. But at the time, there was a palpable fear in the country that this was some sort of an insurrection. It turns out it was all a narrative, a psyop.
Yep.
Yes, and I'm amazed at how long it goes. Yes, people are waking up, and it sort of mimics the same type of lying and nonsense about COVID. Look how long that took to listen to the lies of years, and how many people have suffered there. How many people died, with COVID and the mischief they imposed on us. So, but it's a shame, and I keep emphasizing the tragedies of war. We should spend a lot more time preventing wars than trying to get out of wars, because we never get out of them. We get into these messes mainly because the government's out of control and they get into it, and then it's very difficult to get out.
So it is official. The certification of Donald Trump's insurrection is complete. Oh, yes, it is. And we are here for it, my friends. Donald Trump posted this picture to his Truth Social account. Certified, baby. Certified. So what we saw today proves that the American system, despite the deep state's best efforts, still works. When Kamala Harris certified Trump's victory, she didn't just confirm an election result. She admitted defeat in the face of the American people's will. The old guard, with their walkers and wheelchairs, their desperate comparisons of January 6th to historical atrocities, they're showing us exactly who they are, relics of a dying establishment. Here's what they don't want you to ask. Why did they fight so hard to prevent this moment? What were they afraid that we would discover? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're fired up about American victory, head to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and grab your limited edition MAGA Avengers gear. Show the world that you stood with truth when it mattered most.